In this video, I am going to share a different perspective on what people call being a highly sensitive person, and why for many people, sensitivity isn't just a personality trait. It's often connected to something happening much deeper in the nervous system and in our core beliefs. Hi everyone, my name is Esther Barque. For more than 21 years, I have helped self-aware women uncover the core beliefs shaping their emotional world so they can move beyond patterns like emotional overwhelm and feeling responsible for everyone else's feelings. If you have ever felt like everything affects you more deeply than affects other people, that you absorb the emotions of everyone around you, or small interactions stay with you a long time after they happen, you may have been told that this is simply how you are wired. And yes, sometimes that is true, but in many cases, what people call high sensitivity is actually a pattern the nervous system learned earlier in life in order to feel emotionally safe. Today, we are going to explore what sensitivity really is and what might actually be happening underneath it. First, let's break down what a highly sensitive person is. This term is often used to describe people with high sensitivity, empaths, emotionally reactive people, and deep feelers. Often that label comes with explanations like, well, you just process things more deeply. You are more emotionally aware than others. You are wired differently. And in some cases, that can be absolutely true. Some people naturally have deep emotional processing, intuition, and awareness. But often that conversation stops too early, because what many people call high sensitivity is often something else, and it is hiding underneath the surface. There are two very different forms of sensitivity, and they can feel similar on the surface. First is natural sensitivity. Natural sensitivity often looks like emotional depth, intuition, empathy, the ability to notice subtle things that other people miss. When sensitivity is natural, it usually feels like awareness and discernment. It may be deep, but it is not constantly overwhelming. And then there is conditioned sensitivity. And this one develops very early on in life. It can show up as constantly reading the room, feeling responsible for other people's emotions, becoming overwhelmed easily, replaying interactions for hours after they happen. This type of sensitivity often comes from a nervous system that learned to stay alert in order to feel safe. When emotional safety is uncertain in childhood, the mind often forms core beliefs like, I'm not safe. How other people feel is my responsibility. If someone is upset, it must be because of me. I have to stay alert so that I don't get rejected. These beliefs train the nervous system to constantly scan the environment to determine who is upset, who is withdrawing, what is the tone, and what just changed. Over time, this hyper-attunement starts to look like being highly sensitive, but what's actually happening is hypervigilance. This is why many people who identify as highly sensitive eventually say things like, I'm exhausted. I absorb everyone's energy and it's tiring. Small things stay with me for hours. This all happens because the nervous system isn't just feeling deeply, it's constantly working to monitor the environment for emotional safety. And that takes a huge amount of energy. Now, I want to say something very important here. Sensitivity itself is not a problem. If you naturally experience deep empathy or intuition, that can absolutely be a beautiful gift. But when sensitivity is driven by survival patterns, when it comes from constantly needing to monitor people and situations, that isn't a gift. It is a protection strategy that the nervous system learned a long time ago. And strategies that helped us earlier in life don't always need to stay active forever. The good news is, when the core beliefs underneath those patterns change, something remarkable begins to happen. People often notice that their emotional triggers decrease. They stop over-interpreting small interactions. Their nervous system begins to settle. Emotional overwhelm softens. And sensitivity begins to shift from hypervigilance into something much healthier, awareness and discernment. You still perceive deeply, but you're no longer carrying everyone else's emotional state. So, if you've always thought of yourself as a highly sensitive person, here is a question to consider. Is your sensitivity coming from natural emotional depth or from a nervous system that learned to stay alert in order to feel safe? I know it's a tough question and it may bring up some resistance at first, but repeat it to yourself and allow natural intuitive information from within to rise up. Sometimes simply asking that question can begin to change how you understand your own patterns. If you're finding this perspective helpful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. That action will help other people who need this information to find this video. Over the years, I have worked with women who believed that they were simply too sensitive, too emotional, too affected by everything. But what we often discovered during our session work was that their sensitivity was not their identity. It was a pattern shaped by core beliefs and early emotional environments. And when those beliefs shifted, their whole internal world changed, which then shifted their outward reality in a positive way. If you're listening to this information and something is resonating with you and you feel ready to explore the core cause of your sensitivity or hypervigilance, I can help you. The first step to working with me is to watch the video I have linked in the description box below. In that video, I explain the process I use with clients, share more of my own story, and walk you through a real client success case so that you can understand how this work creates a lasting change. After watching the video, if you feel interested about working together, you are welcome to complete the private work application form. I only work with a small number of women at a time so that each client receives deep inner support. And if it feels aligned for both of us, we will jump on an alignment call to talk about what's not working in your life, the changes you want to create, and how we might work together to make that happen. And if private work isn't where you are at right now, that's okay. There are loads of videos here on my channel designed to help you to understand the deeper patterns shaping your life. In fact, check out the one that's popping up on your screen right now. YouTube and I picked it out just for you.